So Clionadh Cosmetics had a sale a couple months ago and I ended up picking up 10 shades. And I know some of you were curious to hear my thoughts about the shades I picked up because I was talking through my process of choosing which shades I wanted to buy over on Instagram. So today I'm here to do swatches, comparisons, and eye swatches because apparently I'm a masochist. They're having another sale starting on tomorrow, Monday the 11th at 3 p.m. EST. I will pop up the details on the screen. So because of that, I pushed this video further up on my to film list. You can also stack my affiliate code SEEKINGSHIFTS to save an additional 6% on your purchase. So if you do use my code, thank you so much. I did purchase these shades with my own money, but I am a Clionadh affiliate, so whenever I do earn commissions from you guys using my code, I do try to reinvest some of that in building up my Clionadh collection. A, because I freaking love Clionadh and I want all the shades, I want to catch them all. And B, because I know that a lot of you use my videos as a resource to build or narrow down your wish list. So hopefully this video can be helpful if you're planning to place an order during this sale. Let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to do my usual format where I go shade by shade with close-ups, swatches, eye swatches, and descriptions, and at the end I'll have comparisons. As always, there will be timestamps and labels on the screen so you can screenshot and refer back to it as you wish. So this first shade is called Radiance, and this is one of their Series 2 iridescents. This is described as a translucent base that shifts blue, indigo, violet. This is also the nail polish I've been wearing in like all of my recent videos. I picked it up with my order as well. Here's the nail polish, by the way. I don't really know a lot about nail polish, so I'm not going to like go too much into it, but this is like the only nail polish I ever want to use. First of all, the packaging is so like weighted in luxe. And second of all, I feel like this lasts so long on my nails and it looks amazing, and I feel like you could use this because it's also an iridescent nail polish. You can use it as a topper for other colors, which I haven't done yet because I just really love how it looks on its own. These are press-on nails. As you can see, one of them fell off. It also looks good on regular nails too. It's just really special nail polish. I definitely plan to pick up a few more during this sale. So Radiance is an iridescent multichrome that shifts from like a warm sky blue to a vibrant primary blue to indigo to purple. It's so silky and smooth. It has this like UV quality, kind of like the shade UV from Clionadh, which I don't have, but I have dupes to it. But the thing with the shade UV and the other dupes to that shade is that particular blue pigment, which I learned from doing my own collab with Shine by SD, that blue pigment is like kind of dry and dull, whereas this shade Radiance is not like that at all. It's really shiny and reflective, and it has this really intense radioactive glow to it that UV and those other shades have, but it never loses the intense sheen and shine. And it has that really vibrant sky blue shift too, which those other shades don't have. I did wear this to go get boba, and two of the teens that were working there did compliment my eyeshadow, so I feel like that's the ultimate sign that it looked really cool in person. I basically just had it all over my lid with the shade from the Viseart Neutral Matte. Honestly, if you're just going to pick up one iridescent, I would recommend Radiance. Next is Lucidum. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I already know someone's correcting me in the comments. So anyway, this is described as a translucent base that shifts green, aqua, indigo. This is another one from the Series 2 iridescents, and it's another just like insanely shiny, silky, reflective eyeshadow. It shifts from like a warm goldish green to a true green to blue to indigo. This one reminds me of the shade Luxe, but without that really strong gold shift from Straight On. I haven't had a chance to use this as like the main eyeshadow in a look yet, but I use it on my inner corner, and it's definitely like a very aggressive green from Straight On. I'm planning to do a dedicated video on just Radiance and Lucidum because I think they're so intriguing and like really unique for iridescent eyeshadows. So that will be coming down the pipeline soon. Okay, next we have Bubbles from the Dragon Fruit palette. And this is a glitter type iridescent multichrome. It's described as shifting platinum, peach, gold, lime, turquoise. This is not part of the stained glass collection, as you can probably tell by the shape of the pan. This one I was influenced by my friend Cecily on Instagram because we have such similar tastes. I feel like when she likes something, it's pretty much guaranteed that I will also like it. This is from the Dragon Fruit palette in collaboration with the creator Emily Violet Marie. They recently made these available as singles. I don't think my code works on these. You would just get it as like the discounted price. I think it was like $10. This one is really interesting and complex. I definitely don't have anything like this. It has a really strong peachy reflect, and it shifts gold, green, teal. It almost reminds me of like Luxe from their Series 2 iridescents and Gloaming from the glitter iridescents like had a baby or like mixed together. I did mix those together for the comparisons, so we'll see how they compare. It is pretty textured and flaky, but it does smooth out easily. Another thing I noted about this is that it's very light and opaque almost. So I feel like it might leave a cast behind if you have a deeper skin tone, but of course I can't speak from experience. If anyone has experience with this leaving a cast, let us know in the comments. I know Cecily has been patiently waiting to hear my thoughts on this, and I am super happy to have it. I'm really enjoying it so far. I definitely add something unique to my collection. I wore it once as like a sheer topper-ish shade, and then I use it on my inner corner, and I really want to do a halo eye with this as the center of it. I think that will look so good. I'll have more thoughts once I have more time to play with this, but based on first impressions, I am really enjoying it. Especially since a lot of you know I am an iridescent multichrome goblin, and I'm just excited to have anything that like adds something unique to my iridescent eyeshadow collection. Okay, next is Palace. This is from their pearlescent multichromes, and this one I was influenced by my friend Catherine B. Beauty to pick up. She loves this shade. I will link her channel below if you're not subscribed already. This is described as a sheer mauve base with pink, peach, gold, lime, aqua shifts. And I did get some staining from this on my eyes, and when I swatched it, it was like a pretty bright pink stain, but it wiped away really easily. But I know staining is sometimes a deal breaker for some of you, so I just want to let you know anytime it's something I observe. And this shifts from like a soft bubblegum pink to orange to gold to green to teal. It is so shifty. The texture of this is very silky and shiny, but it's different than the other pearlescent I have, Renaissance, which I will do a close-up comparison later on in this video. It's a lot more slick and reflective, whereas Renaissance is more of like a soft pearly sheen. Hopefully you can see what I mean when I do those comparisons. At first I was really hesitant to pick up other shades from the pearlescent range, besides Renaissance, which was sent to me in PR. But now that I see the difference between Palace and Renaissance, I think I am going to go ahead and pick up the other two in this range. And then maybe I can do a dedicated video with in-depth comparisons between the four of them and a demo with all four. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that. I'm going to do it either way, but if there is generated interest in the comments, I'll move it further up on my list of videos to film. Okay, next is Trinket. This is one of their glitter multichromes, and this is described as an orange base with aqua indigo red shifts. This one I held off on picking up for a long time because I thought it was going to be like a dupe to the shade Axis from Terra Moons, which I had heard from a few people and I already had Axis, so I didn't think I needed Trinket. I mean, no one needs any of these, but you know what I mean. But I did feature this in a recent video, Are These Dupes, and I did a demo with them side by side swatch and on the eyes if you'd like to see that, and I think this is very different than Axis. Similar concept, different execution. Trinket is one of the most juicy, sparkly, glossy, wet look eyeshadows I've ever used. It has a warm orange base and sparkles that shift from like a light teal to blue to purple. The sparkles are very concentrated, so you don't really see that base coming through as much. It's just this intense layer of wet look glossy sparkles, and this one I've gone back and used the most out of any of the eyeshadows I've picked up. It definitely has a larger particle size and some texture to it, but it does smooth out really easily, so I highly recommend this one. Next is Ornamental. This is described as a semi-sheer light brown base with small glitter particles that shift yellow, lime, turquoise. This is another one that I was influenced by my friend Catherine B. Beauty to pick up. I wasn't initially interested in this because I thought it was going to be like dull and dry and textured. Didn't sound like a great combo to me. I think just based on the swatch pictures on their website, I got that impression. But once I got this in person, I really like the texture and finish of this. It's not dull or dry. It's a little bit textured. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a small glitter particle size. It's more like medium, very reflective, not dry at all, and it has a really nice finish, smooths out easily. The actual tone of gold is really unique, and that's what I was most intrigued by. It's this like desaturated olivey gold, and it shifts to like a teal and maybe like a tiny bit of like a burgundy. It's not a really intense shift, like you can see it, but I think I'm mostly interested in the texture and overall tone of it. I've been experimenting with gold eyeshadows lately because I feel like I only ever had like the orangey yellow golds, and now I'm realizing there's like a whole range of different gold tones. I've been enjoying like experimenting with those. But anyway, I feel like this looks really good on my fair olive skin tone. Like it just flattering on me, which I don't always care about, but sometimes it's nice to just throw something on that looks flattering. So I'm having a great time with this one so far. Okay, next is Hilt. This is one of the electric multichromes, and this is described as a blue base with orange, peach, yellow shifts. This one I picked up mostly for science, and also I was influenced by one of you. I'm not going to say your name out loud because I don't know if you want me to, but you know who you are. You always talk to me about Hilt. I was struggling to understand like the actual tones and shifts of this based on the photos, even though people sent me really helpful swatch comparisons. For some reason, my brain just like couldn't process it, so I did end up picking this up. And this is basically like this smooth smooth and shiny rather than sparkly and flaky version of shades like Stellar Apotheosis from Terra Moons or Takeover from Shine by SD. Don't worry, I will compare them later on in this video. It has this cool tone sky blue base. It shifts from like spicy orange to gold to green and then back into that blue. It literally looks like a sunrise on your eyes. It's so pretty. And I'm going through a phase where I'm really enjoying some of these like smoother, more reflective eyeshadows rather than like flaky and textured. And I don't know if that's just me aging or what, but I'm really happy to have this. I feel like I'm going to use it mostly as an all over lid shade with just like a simple neutral in my crease and maybe a deepening shade in the outer corner. But I definitely see myself using this a lot. Even though it's like looks really colorful in the pan, I feel like it's very approachable for like everyday, for me at least. Okay, next is Royal Pear. This is one of the Earth Vibrants, and this is described as a muted lime base with pearly pink peach lime shifts. This is one of the more iconic shades I feel like from the Earth Vibrant collection, and I did pick it up for science. I think eventually I will inevitably pick up all the Earth Vibrant shades because they're just like so up my alley, but I'm like picking them up slowly whenever they have sales. But anyway, this is like a neutral grassy green base, and it has really strong shifts from pink to orange to gold to green. It's super reflective and shiny, so much so that when you see it straight on where the light is hitting it, you almost don't even see the base at all peeking through. You just see that really strong pink shift, and then when you go from like any angle or anywhere where the light's not directly hitting it, you do see that green base peeking through, and you see the shifts from orange to gold and then back into that green. It's really beautiful, and this is another one I see myself using in the same way I would use Hilt, just like a very simple look, and I'm really excited to get more use out of this. Okay, next, another Earth Vibrant. This is Wall of Ivy. This is described as a warm brown base with lime, aqua, indigo shifts. And this is another one that I did pick up for science. I also featured it in my recent video, Are These Dupes? I had compared it to M51 from Terra Moons because that's what I heard people saying this is a dupe to. But it's actually closer to Space Case from Terra Moon, so I do include all that in the comparisons later. So this has like a mid-tone brown base, and it shifts from green to teal to blue to indigo. The base is pretty opaque, so when you blend this eyeshadow along the edges, the base like kind of peeks through. It looks as though you've applied a matte eyeshadow underneath it. So this is like honestly a fantastic eyeshadow for a one shadow look, and that might depend on your skin tone, but based on what I've seen from my own experience and other people talking about this is a really great one shadow look, and that's how I've worn it so far. I wore it once as a one shadow look all over my eyes, and I loved how it looked, wore beautifully throughout the day. And I have a huge dip in my Space Case from Terra Moons, but I feel like I will end up using this one, Wall of Ivy, more because it kind of just like takes away the extra step of adding like a matte in my crease. And the last one I have here is Bronze Fountain, another one of the Earth Vibrants, and this is described as a terracotta base with gold, lime, aqua shifts. This one is so underrated, I think. I mean, I don't really see people talking about this one, but they should, because this is such an incredible spicy neutral. You know what? It reminds me of Bloodline from their Vibrant line, but it's like a more bronzy, warm version. It has this rusty red base, and then it shifts from gold, green, teal, blue, and then it kind of goes back into the color of that base. It's very smooth and silky, but it does have this like little bit of micro sparkle finish. Just beautiful on the eyes, and I can already tell you this is going to be one I'm wearing all the time this fall. I think if you want to try Clionadh, but you're like more of a neutrals person, you're intimidated by the more colorful textured shadows, or maybe you're not allowed to or don't feel comfortable wearing that to work, this would be a great one to start with. I think most people would enjoy the shade, like if you enjoy bronzy neutral tones. Okay, I have a nice healthy dosage of comparison swatches for you today. As always, anything that is indicated with an asterisk is something I received in PR. Anything with a double asterisk is something from my collaboration with Shine by SD. For this first group from left to right, we have Fluoresce from Clionadh, Phosphorescent, they're all from Clionadh, Luxe, and Lucidum. So hopefully you can see here, I feel like Lucidum is almost like literally if you combine Luxe and Fluoresce, like it's very similar to Luxe, but it doesn't have that really strong gold shift from straight on, but Lucidum is just really unique in terms of an iridescent multichrome. Next group, we have Zero Gravity from Terra Moons. This is a dupe to UV from Clionadh, Nokomis from Devinah, Glimmer from Clionadh, Glow from Clionadh, and then Radiance from Clionadh. So I don't know if you'll be able to pick this up in these swatches here, but Radiance has that really intense, like I mentioned, UV quality that you see in Zero Gravity and Nokomis, but hopefully you can see like they're a lot less reflective and shiny. They're almost like a satin finish, whereas Radiance is really shiny and reflective, and it has that warm sky blue shift that you see in Glow. Next group, we have all shades from Clionadh again. We have Gloaming and Gilding mixed together, Gloaming and Luxe mixed together, Gloaming alone, Gilding alone, Luxe Alone, and then Bubbles at the top. I feel like Bubbles is most similar to Glow Me and Luxe mixed together, but it has a slightly more peachy reflect rather than like the pink. Next we have Sundog from my collab with Shine by SD, Sarah is from Terra Moons, Wanderstar from Terra Moons, Stellar Apotheosis from Terra Moons, Takeover from Shine by SD, and then Hilt from Clionadh. Hopefully you can see here what I mean when I say Hilt is like the smooth, reflective version of these two shades, Stellar Apotheosis and Takeover. Has the exact same shifts, same base color and everything. It just looks different because there is less surface area reflecting light, so the two more flaky shades with a larger particle size look a little bit more colorful and vibrant. Here we have Cosmic Noon from Terra Moons, Coalescence from Terra Moons, Groovy Baby from Luxie Beauty, and then Royal Pear from Clionadh. Cosmic Noon is kind of similar, but it has more of like a peachy shift rather than pink. Coalescence has similar shifts, but a different base, and the texture and finish is very different. Coalescence has a large particle size and a flaky texture. Groovy Baby from Luxie is very similar. It has like the same colors and shifts, but the formula is very different. It's more of like a dull satin finish, whereas Royal Pear is very shiny and reflective. Here we have some golds. We have Celesta from Devinah, Corrosion from Clionadh, Afterglow from Shine by SD, Fool's Gold from Clionadh, which is only available in the Deep Sea Treasures palette, and then Ornamental from Clionadh. I feel like the tone of Ornamental is just really unique. It doesn't really match up with any of these. I guess the closest would be Afterglow from Shine by SD, but it's not quite as opaque or intense as Ornamental. Here we have Ice Blink from my collab with Shine by SD, Axis from Terra Moons, and then Trinket from Clionadh. Ice Blink isn't iridescent, but I thought it would be interesting to see these side by side because it does have that orange iridescent multichrome with the blue sparkles in it, similar to how these other two shades are just like a flat orange base with the blue shifting pigments. So it's like kind of similar concept, but different execution. But hopefully you can see the differences here. Here we have Bloodline from Clionadh, Veil Nebula from Terra Moons, Gamma Ray from Terra Moons, and then Bronze Fountain from Clionadh. So hopefully you can see what I mean here about how Bloodline and Bronze Fountain are like cousins or like siblings. Like Bronze Fountain is a lot more bronze, as one would infer from the name, whereas Bloodline is more of like a cooler toned base. I thought that Gamma Ray would be a lot more similar to Bronze Fountain, but the undertone and like overall effect is different in my opinion. Here we have Asteria from Devinah, Carving from Clionadh, Cosmic Dancer from Terra Moons, M51 from Terra Moons, and Space Case from Terra Moons against Wall of Ivy from Clionadh. I actually had quite a few people between YouTube and Instagram with my last Are They Dupes episode saying they thought Cosmic Dancer would be closer to Wall of Ivy than M51, and at first I was like, what are you talking about? But now I see it. I mean, Space Case is definitely the most similar. As you can see, Wall of Ivy is just basically Space Case over a brown base. But I feel like with the combination of the shifts and the base, it is reminiscent of Cosmic Dancer, but Cosmic Dancer is more like teal, blue, purple. But anyway, tangent aside, the closest shade here is Space Case. Last group, we have Break of Dawn from Shine by SD, Renaissance from Clionadh, Signet from Clionadh, and then Palace from Clionadh. When I first swatched Palace, I was like, oh, did I just buy a dupe to Signet? But as you can see here, Signet is different. Like the shifts are different. It's a lot less warm tone. And then hopefully you can see here the texture differences between Renaissance and Palace. Renaissance is more of like a pearly sheen, whereas Palace is more of like a reflective pearly finish. But don't worry, I'm going to do a close-up comparison after this. Break of Dawn is very similar in these shifts, but it has more of like a sheer peach base and it's more textured. Here is the comparison of Palace and Renaissance. As you can see, they are quite different. Palace is a lot more shifty, a lot more reflective. Renaissance is beautiful, but in a different way. It's more of this like ethereal glow. It has shifts from like pink to orange to gold, just a totally different vibe. So like I said, let me know if you're interested in the video about all four of the pearlescent multichromes so I know how much to prioritize that. I did a ton of research before making this purchase, like a ton. So I'm pretty much knew exactly what I would be getting. And as always, these lived up to my expectations. I feel like Clionadh is one of the most professional, like consistently high quality, just overall a great indie brand that I'm like really happy to support and honored to be an affiliate with. I would 100% recommend any of these. It just depends on your own personal preferences and what you see yourself realistically using. I have a ton of other videos on Clionadh. I feel like I'm basically a Clionadh channel at this point. So check out my dedicated playlist if you want to see more. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!